Yeah, so how to write a 16 marker where this is particularly about the Korea and Asia paper. You've got a 16 marker question there. The main reason for the military success of the Viet Cong was the support of the Vietnamese people. Now just take a second and think about what is the key words, the real focus of the question. And hopefully you've identified it's about the military success of the Viet Cong. So how was their army so successful? And it's suggesting one reason, the support of the Vietnamese people. And your answer is going to have to talk about that reason and at least one more. So you've got to have two reasons for the military success of the Viet Cong. You might get to three in the 20 to 25 minutes that you've got for this question, but better to do two really well than three briefly. You will only open the door to level 4 marks if you've got those at least two PEE paragraphs. And those level 4 marks can come from a successful conclusion, which talks about why one reason is more important, or it might come from you establishing a real link between the paragraphs, or perhaps broad context, which in this instance, if you've got a Vietnam or Korea one, if you can bring in the broad context of the Cold War, that might be a way to pick up level 4 marks. But the key thing first is to get those PE paragraphs. So there's an answer on the next two slides. And if you can pause this and just make sure you've read it through, I'm going to use some of the paragraphs to illustrate some good practice in a second, and you've had a chance to read it through. So just three slides. One is about evidence, and this is making the point about you've got to try and include 2 to 3 pieces of evidence in each of your PEE paragraphs. So I've taken the paragraph from the answer that you've just read through, and it's the paragraph about how guerrilla warfare tactics helped the Viet Cong military be successful. And the evidence of the paragraph is in blue. And notably, I've got two different types of blue. So the idea is I've got two different types of evidence, both of them talking about guerrilla warfare, but in different ways. So if you look at the first one, we've got about a little bit about booby traps, and the second one is about tunnels. And both of them start to look at how that they make it so difficult for the Americans to win, and therefore for the Viet Cong to be successful. If you'd just written down 3 types of booby traps, I don't think that would count as 3 pieces of evidence. You've got to look for 2 different sort of examples. Okay, so explanations at the in each paragraph are crucial for finally answering the question. It's the green bit on this example, and it's the paragraph which is about the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Another reason for the success of the Viet Cong was the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And I've got my 3 pieces of evidence in this case. So I've got the 3 different blues, which are all sort of giving you different facts about that. But I'm going to pull it together and make sure I'm answering the question with the last bit. So first sentence goes back to the words of the question. This is a big factor for military success because they always had constant supplies. And I think a lot of people would leave it there and you just put the first sentence of the green section. And I think what this is encouraging you to do is you've got to take it a little bit further than that. If you read through, we talk about how the Ho Chi Minh, first of all, frustrates the American forces, and then secondly, because they're so frustrated, they get involved in massacring innocent civilians, using chemicals to destroy jungles, and that leads to them losing support of the Vietnamese people. So it's actually a really comprehensive explanation of how the Ho Chi Minh Trail leads to Viet Cong successes and American failures. And just notice how long that is and aim for more than one sentence in your explanation. Lastly, a conclusion. This is really for the top level marks, and you've got to nail those 2 PE paragraphs first. But what I've done here is I'm not summarizing, but I'm really trying to justify why I think the Vietnamese people and their support is the most important reason. I've stated that really clearly in the beginning. That first sentence makes it really clear which I think is most important. And I think the best way to think of trying to form a conclusion is you've got to look for the links between your 3 reasons. And if you can think through the links, it often gives you a way to realize that one of them kind of underpins or is the foundation or the cause of the others. So in this instance, you'll see my second sentence says that guerrilla tactics were all the more successful because the Vietnamese people supported them. So the beer villagers were hiding fighters, they were setting the traps. And then this last, or the second last sentence talks about how they also were crucial to the Ho Chi Minh Trail because they helped keep it open. So I found a way to kind of argue that the support of the Vietnamese people is so crucial to the other two reasons it makes it the most important. And I think that's a great way to think of trying to form a conclusion, is look for those links between them.